Right, so we are now recording as well. Okay, this is not something that we want to access. We want to access our folder. This is PHP going on somewhere, and I don't want to go into that one. All right, so let's go to Seneca and lectures, and we'll be making this. Maybe let's work on week 11. I don't remember what we have done in week 11. Let's see what we have in week 11, and we can just work on that as well. So we were talking about, okay, yes. So this is the one that we have done before, and we talked about, like, we use that bootstrap for a form, and not only bootstrap, we have worked on different validation type of things. If you remember, we said that if you just put a required with any attribute, with any tag, so you know that it would technically be required by your uh, for required to be input before going into something else. Now today what we are looking is that how we can implement a form and how we can do some validations by using the JavaScript. So you remember we have included our JavaScript file over here. This is myscript.js, which we have not worked on, and right now we'll try to work on that. So first of all, let's see that what this form is. Let me just run this file and see what this file is doing, and then we can go ahead and run that. So npx slide server, we are running. I hope you're looking at my Visual Studio Code, because as I said, my screens are all over the place today. So I don't know what's going on with my screens. By the time it's getting started, I am just working on my other laptop as well, side by side. Okay, so this is the bootstrap form. If you remember, we have talked about this bootstrap form. We have talked about a few very interesting things. Please remind me if we have not done so, that we have talked about that, how to define, how to make some element as required, some element as optional. Have you worked on that? Can anyone just in the shared document? And I am not sure, you are talking about the assignments code, or you are talking about the class code? Index.html. Okay, I think I don't remember that I don't know if it is over there or not. But what we can do is that we can just, we can do one thing, that we can just implement that, like, we can use that one. So I can share this code with you if you want, right? So let me just share this code. You Right. Okay, so let me just copy this. And you remember we were sharing a document, if I remember correctly. We had a document code something. Yes, code to class. You can access that one. And I made that file for sharing the code with different people. And over here, if you see that towards the end of the document, I'll try to add that. So it has got lots of things. You remember we have done this JavaScript and all those things. So you will find lots of codes over there. I hope you have got the link of this document. If not, you can let me know. I will just share that link with you people. Okay. Okay, I'll share that. I'll share that. No worries. So there are lots of codes over here. The last example. So if you reach to the last page, you will find this code, the code that I've just shared. And let me just give it a heading or something. Yes, from here I'll just give a heading, validation code, so that you are able to find validation code. Okay, someone is already here. Looks like someone has the link. Mark, do you like anyone has the link? Because I can see someone has already jumped into it, document. Okay, Mark, you have. Mark, can you share that? But again, I'm sharing that as well. Copy link. And this is the link of. Thank you very much. Thank you. This is the same, and we have done at the same time. Mark and me, right? So this is a code that if you click on it, you will reach to this document. Yes, I can see lots of people are not jumping into it. All right. So now, yeah, I can see. So you can, if you just reach to the last page, which is I think page 17 or 16, 17 something. So you'll find all this code over here. So if you want, you can just copy this code over there in your file and make a script.js as well, where we will be working today. Right. So now, are you people able to have this document? Like I'll just wait for this one, index.html. You people have got this index.html, so that we move forward. Yes. Okay. That's very good. That's very good. So we need to keep few things in mind. You know, I have just done that on submit, return, validate form. So now this is one way. If you want to create a function, you can do that. But right now, what I'm doing, if you see here, I'm just taking this one out of it because there are multiple ways of doing it. So I'm just taking this one out. I'm not using this method for that. Rather, I'll use a different method for accessing the validation function over here, right? So what I've done from this code, I have just taken out the on submit event from my form. The one thing that I want you people to do as well. Number one. Number two is that I need to just keep in mind that what input values I am going to just do validation of. So we can validate of different things and different kind of thing. One more thing that I'm doing, all of you can follow me up, that I am removing this required from my first input as well, or maybe if I have used it on the different one, not like this. Okay, here I've used this email. I'm just taking out this required. And why I'm taking out this required? So I want to have no validations with it right now. So if you see here, now if I do send, so I'm not getting any any error from that. Like looks like my required is not now working. So you see here, if I just reintroduce this in my name like name input type, if I say required, not with the capital, required, if I just leave this required over here and I go to my form and try to send it, you see that it gives me a validation from the Windows. It says that please fill this one. You cannot go to the next page without filling this one. And if I fill this one, because I have not introduced validation on any other point, so what it'll do, if I do that, it is just taking me to the next page. I hope you're getting that. So it's taking me to the next page. Why? Because only validation it is doing is basically on input. So what I've done is that I have removed this required. So I anticipate that you people also have done that. So it means that literally means what? If you have done that, it means that whenever I will just, even if I don't submit or I don't write anything in this as well, and if I go to send, okay, it's still reading that. Maybe it's not saved or maybe something else. Now refresh. Now if I just leave it, you see that I'm directly going over here. And if I had given that required, it was just requiring that one. I hope everyone understand that. Now I want to implement validations by using a function and by using our JavaScript and by using our JavaScript knowledge that we have done. Right. So now if you come to your script file, I want to go to the script file and let's do some programming over here. So if I say const and I say name one or whatever, I can just see name one equal to document dot query selector, right? And what I want is that I want to have an ID. And what is the ID of the name attributes, like name input tab? If you see, ID is equal to first dash name. So I'll try to capture this first dash name. Are you getting that? So what we have done is that we have just taken the reference to, I've just named it name one. Why? Because name, usually JavaScript and these technologies mind using name name reserve word, for the reasons, because they have their own. Anyhow, now I want to see, for example, password, and I'm just taking a password field equal to document dot query selector. And what do I want over here? If you come here, you see what is your password field. uh, there is no password field, no problems. Let's take the last name, and last name's field is basically, if you see its ID, last dash name. So don't have a password, so I'll taking last name, and let's do it L name, and let's with respect to this do it F name, right? L name. So I want to take ID. Yes, the topic for today is validation, continuing with the validation. If you remember, we were discussing validations in our last class. We have talked about that, right? Hopefully now you understand that. So last dash name, right? So I've taken two fields, and I will be just working on those. So and you understand that you can work on any of the fields, and you can go for anything at all. And for example, I'll just give you a few examples, and you will understand that. So I've taken these two things. Now what else I want? I want to implement some action on this form, which is what is the form? This is the form that we have, which is the name of the form is my form, right? And action is equal to data, and method is equal to. I want to just access that. So you can just give an ID to the form as well if you want. We can use the name as well, by the way. But again, if you just give it an ID, for example, again, my form. So you remember I've told you that name and this ID, they play a very important role in accessing something. So I've given this form as ID is equal to my form. So now I want to catch this form as well. Const form equal to document dot query selector, right? And what I want to access, for example, that my form. I hope I've used the right syntax, right name. My form. Yes, I've just given an ID, my form, right? So I have got that my form, right? And I'm doing another thing which I have not done, but I'm doing it over here. I'm defining another field, error element. So I'm defining an error element, and why? I'll let you know. Document dot query selector, and let's take hash error, which is not defined right now. So now what I want to do, I am accessing an error element. So it's not here. Let's come back here and try to create after the form, or maybe you can use it anywhere. For example, after this form in div, let me give this ID, for example, a P. I'm giving a P, right? And I say, for example, so again, I will just change its text. So ID equal to error. So whenever error occurs, it will just, I'll just try to load something, or I'll just try to show something over here, right? So that is something that I am doing with that. I will change the inner text of that one. Okay, so now this is an ID that I've created, and now why are two of them single quotes and why is one? Okay. Okay, Jason, I was thinking that someone might ask this is my bad habit of using both of them. And JavaScript is so very kind that it always accepts all of them. So let me just do that, because I was thinking that might be someone should ask it. So Jason, you have come up with a question. I'm happy about that. So it's a bad habit to use both of them, even though JavaScript is very kind and it will always allow us. So now we are synchronized, right? So it's bad habit. It's not it's not something to do with any logic. So you can say that this is a bad habit only. Okay, so we have got that one as well. Now we have to implement an event listener, and we want to implement that event listener with our form. So if I say form dot add event listener, and what event I'm looking for the form? I'm looking for the submit event of the form, right? And I say that when this submit event is formed, an event is generated. You remember that logic of that cat that we created and things like that. So if I say that on submit, whenever submit happens, you just run this file. So you just run this file, right? So if you want to run this file, and what we'll be doing, and I'm just saying, defining a messages array, which is empty, and I'll do what? I'll just try to populate all the messages if they are coming from some different fields, right? So messages. So I say if fname dot value, for example, you can do a lots of things that you can check here. Fname dot value equals single quotes space, right? Or or is our pipe sign. Where is that pipe sign? This one, the pipe sign, right? And you say that, for example, fname dot value. So I'm just implementing this on fname equals null, right? So if something of that happens, like if user has left the first name or the first name as empty, user has not given anything at all. So do what? Messages dot, you remember push function. So here we are getting that practice of that array function as well. And again, I'm using this double quotes, but I can use single quotes as well. Name is a required field. Right? So if someone has left this name one value empty, number one. So what are the different things that we can do? I can check one more thing. Fname dot value equals lname dot value. You getting that? What does that mean? If both of the, like a user has by mistake entered the same name in first name and last name, which generally is not the case. Usually first name and last name have to be different. So you say, okay, so you say messages dot push, you push another message, and you say f name and l name cannot be the same, right? I hope you're getting that what we are trying to do. One more thing that you can do is, for example, like again, the type of validation I'm talking about, l name dot length. For example, we are talking about l name is this okay, lname dot value dot length. Okay, it should come up with the length, and we'll just it should be value dot length. Let's check that one. Is less than or equal to 6. If it is the last name, user has given maybe less than 6. So what we are saying is that messages dot push last name cannot be less than 6 characters, right? So if it is less than that, so messages to dot push. So now towards the end, we have populated our messages, like with different error messages that we have. So what we can do over here is that now we will be just associating with that. So we'll check if something is come in that length. Why? Because maybe there is no error, and maybe user has given all those things. So messages dot length is greater than 0. If messages length is greater than 0, so you do what? Error EL. So you remember we have defined this error EL over here, right? So we will just try to push all those data that error EL has like into it. So inner text, we are defining an inner text of that error EL equal to messages. So all those messages, and what I'll do is that by using a join. And what is that join? Comma. Okay, there's a question. I'll just come to that question. So you say that in error, did you put the A before hash ID on purpose?
I think it's line 4, Professor. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think if you go to line 4, you see what I mean.
You're talking about
line, sorry, 6. You see your line 6 and the ID error?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. This is a mistake, right? Thank you very much. So this was a mistake. It was not intentional. Thank you. Right. So what we are doing over here, everyone understand? Error el dot inner text equal to messages dot join, and I'm joining all those messages that are coming. Maybe these 3 messages are coming, so I'm joining all these 3 by using the comma and putting them all into the error el text, right? So that is something. So now save this one, save this file as well, because I changed a few things over here as well. And now let's go to this one, and let's try to leave this empty. I'm leaving this empty. Like again, the first name I'm leaving empty, or second name I am giving 1 2 3, like again ABC, so less than 6 characters. And I'm trying to intentionally do these 2 problems. If I press send, okay, so it says error cannot post data. Am I calling that function? Oh, I'm just right. So let's see why it is not working. So form is equal to my form. This is my form. So ID is my form over here. That should be fine. Document.query selector, my form, which should work. Error EL is hash error. As we mentioned, there was some error. Submit, and you just run this event on submit, run this function. It has to run. Let's rerun it and check that one. Maybe sometimes. So localhost is 3000.
Professor,
Yeah.
have you included script.js in your HTML file?
Looks like yes. If you see here, it's somewhere here. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So I've added that, but
Well, it's called my script there, but it's called script.js.
Oh, that's a very good point. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So now let's check that and run that one. So I'm leaving that intentionally empty and just entering 4 characters for the last name, just to check those things. So yes, you see, please match the requested format. So you know, it's not giving my error message. Let me just see. It'll give that one as well. But let's, if I do that one, please match the requested format. So did we ask for a typical format? So for last name dot value dot length. Okay, so maybe just for the time being, I'm just looking it up. So aside, I'll just check that. I think I'm just making a mistake over here. Anyhow, so let's do that. Let's first of all match them and see if that works. Okay, so if you see here, of course, it's going to the next page, which it should not go, and I'll tell you how it won't go. But if you see that this message is coming at the down, right? So there is one function that we might use, and I will just use that over here. If you have seen that, so whenever you have got something like we want to dot prevent default, you know, this is a function that would prevent the default values, or it might does not allow the action. Let me just check that if that works. So ABC and ABC, if I do that, still it is going, I don't know, but we'll see that. So let's leave it empty. Let's do it something like that. The message is coming, name is required, and it's stopping right here. It has to stop. That is the thing that need to do. Okay, so if I just do that GGG over here as well. So let's see the messages. The messages F name and L name cannot be same. So the message is changed, right? And now if you see here, so this, you see that it has to have, for example, it will be just, you know, accumulating all the messages that are coming over here, and those messages will be pushed inside that messages array, and that messages array will be displayed on the function when it is run. So for example, if I just leave it empty, so it should give it name is required field, and you cannot leave name empty. And as well as you can just do lots of things over here. Let me just make one more thing so that we can see both of the 2 messages together. And for that, what we can do is that I'll just do that one. Oh, sorry. So lname dot value dot length. Am I doing the right thing here? Or it should be lname dot length. It has to be the value, right? Lname dot value dot length. Yes, it should be here. Less than or equal to 6. If it is less than or equal to 6, it should push up that message, right? That is something I want from it. Let's do that. And I'll try to create two problems. Like again, not giving anything in this one and then adding. So you see here, both of them are coming with the comma. I hope everyone can see that. Name is required field. Last name cannot be less than 6 characters. I hope you people are able to see that. And what I'll do is that, you remember, we have talked about a bootstrap class that makes color the danger color. So text danger. This is the text danger. So let's copy this class into my P so that it will be of red color. So that message is prominent over there in my form. So ID is equal to error and class is equal to text danger, right? Now let's run it. Leaving that empty, entering only 3 characters and checking it. So it says that name is required field. You cannot leave empty. You can put any message. And it has to be, last name cannot be less than. Okay, so if you are getting that message, it means that you know that I was also having this same problem. So just check this one, maybe the lname.value or lname is properly coming from this last name. And then if you can check that this code is the correct one. If you can just make that sure that this code is working fine. Yes. So check that. So how many of you are able to see this successfully, that now they are able to do their own validations as well? Yeah, I've just received the response from Jason right now. So we can use this method to implement a lots of functionalities, as I've said. So now what you can do is that you have got this all form in front of you, right? So you can do whatever you want. Like for example, you want to for the date, you want to say that this date should not go from that particular position to that particular date to that particular date. Date cannot go from the backward or sub forward. Okay. Okay, so sometimes it might happen. So if you can just see that. So there are lots of things that you can do. And what we have done is that we have done that by using as I said, by using the JavaScript way. So you are very familiar with all this syntax. So you can always go there and you will be just, and extracting all the fields and implementing whatever you want. So that is something that is in this validation. So this is the little exercise that I said. This should mark the end of that validation part that we were using. And let me just open up your notes for this week. Not this week, for the particularly that week. Right. So this was client-side validations, and this one. So if you see here that these are the validations that we talked about, required pattern, and you remember we have done that pattern part as well. If you remember, we implemented patterns somewhere. I don't remember where did we use that. I think it was the last name where I implemented. Yeah, here is the pattern. So okay. Yes. So Mark, your problem is solved. This pattern is basically causing that problem for you. So just go there and delete this pattern. You got my point? Because this pattern is giving it that you have to follow a typical like validation. You got Mark? Because if you go back and you do that, you'll find that your problem will be solved. Cannot post or whosoever was having that problem, that that follow the specific formats. So the specific format was coming from this HTML part rather than anything else. So that's why it was doing that. So can you please confirm that yes, now you're able to do that? No response. Anyhow, so pattern we have talked about. We have talked about client-side validations, and we talked about these functions. And you see, this is something that we have done right now. Okay, someone else had that problem. So we are getting that the same thing that we have done. We are getting that document element, and then we are using this form, accessing the form, And you know, you have got these two methods of accessing this one. You can use the get element by ID, which I have just discussed with you people, that you can use that one, get element by ID, and you have this query selector and that forms, when I'm accessing this forms as well. And you know, you see that forms has been taken out as a, here in that form, it is taken out as an array. Can anyone tell me why we are taking here is an array format? And what is the logic behind that? Because there is a solid logic behind it. And I think we discussed that in last class. Can anyone tell me why we are taking, what does this mean specifically? And we are taking these forms in an array form. So remember, if you have more than one forms in a document, all those forms will be loaded when you do this form document select by ID, or document select all, for example, document.forms, for example, if you just go and do that forms, or selector all. I hope you're getting what I'm saying, but let's, just for the sake of practice purpose, I'm just telling you, and you must know this. So this form is over here, over here, and now after this line, I'm making another form, and I'm giving it an action as, for example, data, whatever. And inside that, I'm just creating an input type is equal to text, and input type equal to submit. So I'm just taking these two, and now I am giving this form a name. Yeah, exactly. Form a name, and I'm giving, for example, form 2, right? Or maybe let's give it an ID as well, form 2. So sometimes you're both of them. So I've given that as form dot, like, you know, ID. So if you see here on that script part, if I do something like that, for example, rather than having, okay, maybe just leave that as well, or maybe what we can do is that const whatever, so forms in HTML, right? So I'm just taking a name different because we have got a form as well. Forms in HTML equal to document dot forms, right? Why it is giving this error? Okay, it's const, right? So forms in HTML. So basically now it says that document dot forms, and let's see, let's console this one. Console.log forms in HTML. And if you just see that, you will see that what is coming up if I use the right syntax. So if I just click on it, and if I go back to my document, and let's go to the terminal, if it is just showing us, okay, okay, now let's check it over here. Okay, so you see here HTML collection. So it's giving, yes, it's giving all the forms. Form, my form. The first my form is ID is my form. The second ID is form 2, right? So now if you see that in our document, if you want to access a particular form from this one, what you can do is, for example, if you see here, form dot add event listener, and I want to, for example, implement in that form the differently. So if I say forms in HTML, right, and in brackets, what I'll say form 2, because the other ID is form 2, and then I can say dot add event listener, and I am implementing an add event listener to that as well. So submit, and I say, for example, nothing, but I'll just for the practice purpose I'm giving you. If you see here and you say just console, I am second form, right? So it has to be the second form whenever we submit that other form. We are talking about submission of the other form. If you go back to your document, and if you see and refresh it, and let's do that, collection is coming, like both of them. And if I submit this form, so you see that this message appeared over there, and now it has gone away maybe. So yes, I'm a second form, that is coming for a split second, and then it's going away. But anyhow, so it's basically what, if you just experience it, it will be just coming over here. I'm the second form anyhow. So that is what these forms are typically. They are the arrays. The arrays are created. So in our notes, if you see that they are saying that if you have to access the different forms, typically in the different ways, so you can always access the forms by using these methods. By ID, you can access. Could you please copy paste script? Okay, script.js. You are talking about this script.js. I'll do that. Now it has got a lots of things, so you know, you can understand what is going on. And I'm copying that again, same into that Word document, right? The same document that you people are already accessing over here. So I'll go to the last page, other rather than 17 page, script.js. Oh, right. Control A, Control C. I hope I've copied that one. And here I'm pasting it. So see here. So this is all over here, right? So that's, as I said, that's basically related to the validations, and these validations play a very important role. So for obtaining values, dot value will take the value of text area, and if you are using that, name property will give it the name, and then selected index will be finding out. So all these are the options given. So I would highly recommend you people to just go through these nodes one by one, and most of the things that have been used over here are all we have discussed. So you see what they are doing. So they are just accessing the form, and then form.text value trim, then they are just taking the text value. And if you see that color choice is array.form color, and then what they are doing is that they are using for each, for finding out each color, which one is the checked one and which one is the not. And I would highly recommend you people to just do that. Why? Because then when you will just move to the server side scripting, when you will be just evaluating the values coming from the form, you will be needing these options over there, that how to find out the checkbox and how to find out the different values. And the same way it is saying, using the submit event to validate forms with JavaScript, that we have done, that you can just you can implement that in that way as well on submit, or you can do that add event handler that we have just used. Right. So now I'm expecting everyone is able to run that one. Jason, if you are still having a problem, we can discuss that right now, because I'll be stopping here. As I said, today I'll be just keeping it very short, and